Right guys, welcome to a new video, and in today's video we're going to be talking about why it's essential to be obsessed or to get obsessed. And I don't mean to the point where it's causing issues with yourself and with people around you, but I mean you have to become obsessed in the sense that you have to know why you're doing a certain thing, such as dieting or following a intermittent fasting or following a certain diet like the ketogenic diet. You have to become obsessed with the research and the reasoning why you're doing it, because many of the things that work, such as eating a high-fat diet and fasting, which means not eating for a prolonged time, they sound very and also putting salt in your water, pink Himalayan salt, obviously very different to normal table salt. They sound very strange and contrarian to other people. Okay, so they sound very like people are going to judge you, and people are going to question you, and people are going to doubt you when you say, yeah, I eat a high-fat diet. People are going to think that fat makes you fat. They're going to think that you're going to get heart disease. They're going to think you're going to clog up your arteries. They're going to think all these things that were told to them when they were younger by, the press. When sugar companies pay, advertisements and companies that basically downplay sugar and make fat the enemy, when really it's completely the opposite. There was a study where I think Harvard professors got paid, I think it was around $40,000 to basically publish an article that was downplaying the effects on sugar and actually steering people away from fats, even though it's basically completely the opposite. So when you were going to follow like a high-fat diet, a ketogenic diet, putting pink Himalayan salt in your water, supplementing with certain supplements or doing certain activities, people are going to judge you and think that you're not doing the right thing. And then basically that's going to be really bad for your psyche. It's going to be really bad for the way that you think. I see a lot of people, as soon as they start dieting, they tell everyone what they're doing. They'll tell them they've gone on a high-fat diet. They'll tell them they're doing all these things. I'm not eating for a certain amount of hours. And people are going to think they're crazy. And because they're not going to know enough information, they're going to get steered by other people's beliefs, because 70% of the population are mainly overweight. So you're going to have more people bringing you down than you're going to have people basically spurring you on. So it's very important to basically keep yourself to yourself in your fitness goals. And what I mean by that is, become a student, become a learner, become someone who basically learns on their own, maybe not bragging about what you're doing, and in fact basically bring yourself away from everyone else. Learn as much as you can. Learn the science behind fasting, learn the science behind autophagy, learn the science behind ketogenic diet, learn how it affects the brain, how it affects the blood sugar levels, how it affects your insulin, how it affects your BDNF levels. Learn all the scientific evidence, and then when people question you on saying, why would you follow a high-fat diet, you can say, well, it's actually quite simple, because every time you eat carbohydrates, your body breaks down the carbohydrates into glucose, so your body can actually use glucose as energy. Whereas when you eat fats, you can actually burn fat straight away, so your body can carry on burning fat and you get an energy source straight away. But when you eat carbs, your body has to produce insulin. So your body actually can't break down any fats when it's mobilizing carbs. And then obviously they'll know they'll kind of understand, and they'll think, oh, there's more to this than just eating carbs and eating fats. You actually have two different energy sources. Your body digests fats and carbs completely different. And then if they're like, why would you, not eat for 16 hours? Well, your body actually increases human growth hormone, HGH. HGH can get increased up to 12,000% when you are fasting. What does that mean? Well, basically, human growth hormone is what actually helps you build muscle. So if your human growth hormone can increase, that's going to help you preserve muscle and actually build more lean muscle. Also, fasting has a muscle sparing effect. What does that mean? Basically, your body can hold on to proteins and hold on to muscle when you are fasting. A lot of people think that you're going to lose muscle whilst fasting. You don't go into a catabolic state, you actually go into quite an anabolic state. So you're actually building muscle and maintaining and preserving muscle. So You know, this is why you've got to know the reasons why you are fasting, why you're doing the ketogenic diet, why you're having low carbs, or the reasons why maybe you're having a high carb diet. I mean, I now have around 200 grams of carbs a day, but I know I'm burning roughly 150 to 200 grams of carbs a day within my day by doing my strength training, by doing my yoga, by doing my cardio. If you know the carbs to eat, the low glycemic carbs, the GI index, that's another thing that you can explain to people. People think white bread and brown bread are healthy. Well, white bread has a GI of 71, which means bread raises your blood sugar levels nearly as high as sugar. So when you think white bread's healthy, it's actually completely the opposite. So this is just going to be a short video on basically become a student of fitness, nutrition, longevity, and learn as much as you can, and then outlay that information onto everyone else who basically they're uneducated on the subject, and they're going to doubt you and think, why would you do these things? And it's only because they don't know about them. So basically you have to become obsessed, you have to become the learner, you have to become the scientist, and then you have to outlay that information onto other people. Because if you don't, you're going to fall victim to basically giving in and then letting other people dictate to you why they think that you're doing something wrong, even though you know it's the right thing to be doing, because you've read the science, you've read the articles, you've read all the scientific evidence. So don't let people basically steer you into other options or other opinions when you already have the information. You've already learned it, you just need to learn it enough where you can outlay that onto other people. And I recommend, you know, learning as much as you can, writing as much as you can down, and then trying to outlay that information onto your friends and family in time. But people will start to ask you questions when your body starts to change and your physique starts to get leaner and you start to get healthier, your face starts to thin out. People will start to ask you questions, and then that's when you can back up your evidence with the knowledge that you've learned, you know, all the way in the past. So the best investment is to invest in yourself, and then when people ask you questions, you'll have the prerequisite knowledge to basically outlay that information onto them, and they will respect you much more for that, and they'll actually know that what you're on about, and they might even take up the same advice as what you're preaching. Whereas before it would be them telling you, no, you don't put salt in your water, and then you'd be like, you know, table salt and pink Himalayan salt aren't even really the same. You know, pink Himalayan salt has 84 essential minerals. They have all your electrolytes, all your potassium, your iron, your magnesium, your calcium. That's going to help your body. Whereas table salt doesn't have that, okay? So once they realize that, it's just really the fear of the unknown. If you don't know the reasons why to have pink Himalayan salt, or the reason why to have a high fat diet, or the reason why to lower the glycemic index or the glycemic variability of food intake, if you don't know, then you're not going to know. So the more you learn, the more you can basically practice and try things on yourself, see if they work, and if they do, you can carry on with them and you can learn your body, and then obviously you can help other people do that. So that's going to be my advice for today. Become a student of fitness, nutrition, training, everything, longevity, supplementation, and then basically become the scientist and practice what you preach and have as many people as you can. That's kind of what I'm trying to do here. So yeah, thank you for watching, guys, and I'll see you all in the next video.